Hey friends, today I just want to talk to you just out of my devotional this morning. And I'm doing the 2-year plan with my church, Jubilee, and it's a 2-year plan. Today we're at Psalm 25, which is a fantastic psalm about God's guidance. And I think it's particularly relevant because of the emotion that David is feeling. He's feeling at least 3 emotions that I think we can relate to in this season. Number 1, he feels fear. Read about that in verse 2 and 19. He feels lonely. Verse 16, he feels confused. Verse 4 and 5. And so with these emotions, he goes to God for guidance. Now, what's interesting and so important for us to see this, David does not pray, God, do I go left or do I go right? He doesn't say, God, what do I do with my finances? Should I buy this house? Should I take this job? What should I do? He doesn't ask that question. He asks a different question. He asked in verse 4, he says, make me to know your ways. He doesn't say, should I go left or go right? He says, I want to get synced up with you. I want to have your desires. I want to know how you think. Teach me your paths. Lead me into your truth. And that's just a key part. God does answer direct questions. And when he does speak those direct answers, you better go. Sometimes he says, go to Nineveh. And when he says, go to Nineveh, you better go to Nineveh. But a lot of times it's more about, like what Paul said, that we know the will of God through the renewing of our mind. Meaning, like, God's not looking to give us a detail, do this, do this, do this, do this. But what he wants to do, he wants to draw us into relationship. He wants to draw us in to trusting him. So instead of praying, God, should I take this job? Should I go left or go right? I mean, you can pray those prayers, but a better prayer, a more biblical prayer, to get in sync with God is to say, hey, renew my heart, renew my mind, help me to think like you think, help me to feel the way you feel, help me to desire the way that you desire. God wants to bring you into depth. So guidance doesn't come from seeking answers. Guidance comes from seeking a person. And here's the best part. I love this. In verse 8, sinlessness is not a prerequisite. He says he instructs the sinners. So if you've messed up, I got great news. He's not wanting to push you away if you've sinned. Sinlessness is not a prerequisite. But one of the things that is interesting that humility is, in verse 9, he says that he leads the humble. So he leads sinners and he leads the humble. So if you've messed up, don't be afraid to seek God. He wants to draw you back into him because he wants to bring you into harmony with what he desires, the way he thinks, and the way he feels. Your sin does not disqualify you, but humble yourself. Seek to know him. Seek to draw close to him, and he will guide you.